Hi there, good morning to you. It's 60 minutes of comprehensive news updates from here in Ghana and across the globe. Welcome to GHOne. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, crucial day for Galamsey fight as labor unions meet to decide on their plans to go on a nationwide strike. Now, activist Oliver Barker-Vormawor refused bail while AMA Governor Felicity Nelson and others granted bail by the Accra High Court. We'll go there live. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has justified the detention of the 53 persons arrested during the recent protest against Galamsey, saying their behavior landed them in trouble. In business, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority records 11.75% growth in non-traditional exports for the period between January and December 2023. And later on the foreign front, we talk about the Israel-Hamas war. We have details of these and many others all in the 60 Minutes belt. Stay tuned in. Hello again, my name is Mohammed. We begin from the courts where the High Court in Accra has granted bail in the sum of 70,000 cedis each to lawyer Elom Abebio, popularly known as AMA Governor, and 8 others involved in the reoccupied Julobi House protest. In addition to the bail sum, the court presided over by Justice Comfort Tasiame said they should produce 2 sureties each. Now, the sureties, the court said, should deposit their Ghana cards and digital addresses to the registry of the court. The court further said the accused persons are to report to the police once until the final determination of this particular case. The other accused persons are Emmanuel John, Emmanuel Kwabnado, Ziblim Yakubu, Oheneba Prempe, Philip Ousu Kobna, Akisibik Desmond, Von Kofi, and Sadiq Yakubu. Now, EIB Network's legal affairs correspondent Mutala Inusa, who was in court, has joined me via Zoom. Mutala, kindly keep me updated on what's the latest happening with regards to this particular case, if you can hear me.
Yes.
Hi, Mutala, can you hear me? So if Elom and 8 others have been granted bail, what happens to the remaining protesters, detained protesters?
Hello, Lily.
Yes, Mutala, I can hear you loud and clear. Mutala, I think I'm having a challenge with your network. If you can, okay. Now I think I have a smooth one. I think you're trying to reposition yourself, but this is okay for me, Mutala. If you can hear me, I was asking, if Elom and 8 others have been granted bail, what is the fate of the remaining detained protesters? Mutala, can you hear me?
Hello, Lily, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very loud and clear.
Okay, so when you come to the law court complex right now, 2 sets of the accused persons involved in the Democracy Hub demonstrations, in fact, have appeared before the High Court. And the first set that appeared before Justice Comfort Tasiame, the Criminal Court 4, happens to be AMA Governor Elom Abebio, together with some 8 others. They were so lucky to the extent that even though prosecution opposed to the grant of bail, the court held that there's merit at that particular bail application that was filed. Consequently, the court granted them bail, each of them 70,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. The sureties, the court said, should deposit their Ghana cards at the registry of the court and also make sure that they provide their digital addresses to the court. And they also have to report to the police once a week, pending the final determination of the case at the circuit court. Then the other set of the case involving Oliver Barker and Felicity Nelson and some 10 others. What I can tell you in relation to that leg of the case, also before a different high court, is that in respect of Oliver Barker, the court has refused to grant him bail. What the court said was that Oliver Barker currently is involved in another criminal offense at the high court. Remember the issue of the treason felony. He's involved in that and has been granted bail. The question is not whether or not he will be available to stand trial, but the question is whether or not, when granted bail, he will not commit another of an alleged offense of that nature. On this basis, the court is declining or refusing to grant bail to Oliver Barker. The court is saying that the circuit court should commence the trial within 48 hours. If the court fails to do that, the bail could be considered for Oliver Barker. But Felicity Nelson was lucky. She was granted bail in the sum of 20,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties, and the court said that prosecution or investigators should verify their residential addresses. Other accused persons have their bail application also being moved, and the court is considering same. So if you come to the High Court here, 2 separate applications or set of accused persons who have appeared before the court, one involving Ama Governor, all of them have been granted bail. But the one involving Oliver Barker, Felicity Nelson have been granted bail. Some of the other accused persons have also gotten bail. But Oliver Barker, the court has refused to grant him bail.
Murtala, I don't know if you've been able to speak to the lawyers of these detained protesters. What are their initial comments after the court granted their clients bail?
Hello, Lily.
Yes, Murtala, can you hear me? I know we're struggling with network, but let me ask again. I don't know if you've been able to speak to lawyers of the detained protesters after their clients were granted bail, and those who were not granted bail. What are their comments?
As we speak, the case is still ongoing. Some of the accused, but the other persons are also having their bail application being heard by the court. So all the parties are available in that particular court. After the case is done, we will hear from the lawyers what exactly they make of it, especially those who have been granted bail and those, Oliver Barker especially, who has been refused bail. But as we speak, before the general jurisdiction tour, the other accused persons are also having their bail applications to move. And what is interesting is that apart from Oliver so far, all the other accused persons who have made their bail application move, all of them have been granted bail in relation to the matter before the High Court.
Okay, Murtala, thank you very much, sir. Please go back in. We want more info from you. So that's Murtala Inisa. He's our legal affairs correspondent. But I asked Murtala whether or not the lawyers are enthused about this particular bill granted. Let's find out from one of the lawyers of them. Philemon La is a lawyer for the detained protesters. Mr. La, good morning to you. Is this some good news to you that some of your clients have been granted bail finally?
Hi, good morning. Good morning and good morning, many viewers of GHOne. First of all, we are excited. We are excited that they are out because we've had a judge that has reasoned with the arguments that the lawyers for the protesters have argued over the period. So preliminarily, we can say that the liberty of our clients have been secured. And for that, we are grateful and thankful.
Now, what happens to the remaining clients of yours? I mean, what's the arguments now in court? And are you hopeful that they will also be granted bail?
Yeah, we are absolutely hopeful. We even think that they should have been granted bail. We didn't even have to go to court for them to be granted bail. We hope that the police by themselves could have granted bail. So, as your reporter would have said, not all the matters have been heard. The cases are going on in different courts. Some other lawyers are in different courts trying to secure bail for all the others that have been arraigned before the court today. And we'll stop at nothing but ensure that the last of them, including Oliver, receives justice.
Okay, Philemon, kindly hold on for me. I want to read something that the president has said, and then I'll come back to you shortly. Now, President Akufo-Addo has refuted allegations that the arrest and detention of the 53 anti-Galamsey protesters is an effort to suppress dissent in Ghana. Speaking in an interview with France 24, the president emphasized his support for peaceful protests as a legitimate form of democratic expression. His remarks follow the arrest of some 53 individuals. We've talked about them during a demonstration against illegal mining, commonly referred to as Galamsey.
I'm not responsible for jailing people in Ghana. The courts in Ghana are independent institutions, and they have been all through this period of the Fourth Republic. People misconduct themselves and they're brought before court. It's for the court to deal with them. That's not a matter.
It has nothing to do about politics.
It has nothing to do with the executive. And their behavior is what lands them in problem with the police and with the courts. It's not the protests. How can the president, who himself, his political career was aided by leading protests, have problems with protests? I don't have problems with protests. And nothing is done in Ghana to prevent people from airing their views on anything.
So a number of people had been calling for the president to speak on this matter, particularly because he's one of the people who was highly involved in protests prior to him becoming a president. Counsel, this is what the president says. He says that it's their actions that landed them in this particular trouble. What's your comment on this?
I am so disappointed, utterly disappointed at the commentary of the president. First of all, let me attack the fact that the president has not had the courtesy of allowing Ghanaian journalists to probe him on issues like this. Why is it so difficult for Ghanaian journalists to get opportunity to ask the president these very tough questions? But of course, I'm happy that the French media house has been able to do that. The president has been utterly disingenuous. Disingenuous because he knows, as a lawyer, that everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Why would the president call them, the arrested people, as people who have misconducted themselves? Which court has declared them as having misconducted himself, basis upon which the president will call them as misconduct in society? I think that's most unfortunate and reveals the intention of the president. First of all, he seeks to exculpate himself from liability and saying that the executive has no hand in whatever has happened. But I must say, and I must emphasize that very clearly, that indeed the executive has a direct hand in whatever happened to the protesters. The Attorney General is a direct appointee of the president. The Attorney General takes instructions from the president. And as a matter of fact, unlike the case where in every circuit court on misdemeanors, it is the police that prosecute, in this particular matter, it took the Attorney General to deploy lawyers from his office to go and oppose bail applications moved by lawyers for the protesters. So what shows the presidency or the executive was not involved in this?
But Counsel, the same Attorney General
also asked.
But Counsel, the same Attorney General has also asked that bail applications be granted.
Today, the lawyers from the Attorney General still oppose the bail applications.
We lost them there. Quite unfortunate. You know how technology behaves sometimes. Well, board chair of the National Theatre, Nana Frediola Ajimano Oforiata, says the protests against Galamsey should be directed at the mining communities to be effective. He claims the menace isn't happening in Accra, and therefore, to yield results, protests should be targeted and embarked on in communities that illegal mining occurs because they need to understand the effects of the menace. He spoke earlier on G Today. We'll bring you that story shortly. But earlier, I was engaging Philemon La. He's one of the lawyers of the 53 detained protesters. Unfortunately, we lost him there. But we'll try and see if we can reconnect with him and get more. He says he's disappointed in the president's speech, that it is the action of the protesters that got them in trouble. Let's find out what you think on social media. Nanama, what do people think?
Well, Lily, they're in two minds, but some people are siding with the president. We start here with our first comment on Facebook. He has never taken responsibility in this country, yet every indication turned negative. We also have Prince. You are the commander-in-chief of the country. Then Nana Asante says, Papa, we are of that view, I think. However, you have a certain amount of power that can stop or continue matters. At least you can order your Attorney General to have been lenient on the matter. Rexford says that now the citizens are turned into spectators gradually. Nana Yao says, I have heard of presidential pardon. I stand to be corrected and educated on that. Evelyn says, 7th December is just around the corner. Edmund asks, so you can speak. We all day here. Then Francis says, Nana Addo will be the only ex-president who will be treated like a doormat by his own party people and the good people of Ghana. Abdulaziz adds to the conversation. This is the man they call human rights lawyer, and he doesn't even know that the Attorney General prosecutors prosecutes cases on behalf of the president. Sawan says the president is not in charge of the country. We move over to X. Benny says the president was spot on. Certainly, the executive is not responsible for jailing. That is the work of the judiciary. The president is not responsible for jailing people. Then we have Benjamin. Yes, the law must work. Our next comment and our last comment on X here. Sure, that's the job of the judiciary and not the presidency. So that is what you had to tell us on social media. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X, which is formerly Twitter. My name is Nanama Akwali. Over to you.
Thank you, Nanama, for those comments. Please keep them coming. We'd love to hear from you because we're big on your views. But earlier, I was telling you that the board chair of the National Theatre, Nana Fredu Ajimono-Freyatta, says the protests should be targeted. Hence, they should be targeted at the communities that these Galamsey activities are happening.
So now you and I want to ask, so we brought you this. Why don't you like it? I think we need to find the solution. Is not in Accra, it's there in those communities. If all these leaders, labor, our pastors, whoever, everybody goes into those communities, can you imagine if they have 10,000 people who are going to hit the streets in separate whatever, and all of these people going to even targeting, let's say, 10 communities? We think we won't have an effect? Because those people, they are also human, they're Ghanaians. They go with a certain mentality too, so they will win somebody over. And for me, that's when you win. So notice, I'm not against the protest. I'm against where we're doing it, how we're doing it, and what we seek to achieve.
You see,
we must be very, my brother, you talked, you even got a rebut. Let me finish. When we do this, that's when we're going to get real results. Trust me. That's when we're going to get real results. When you go into those communities. Now,
meanwhile, a member of the NDC's Economy and Finance Committee, Professor Sharif Khalid, blames the governing NPP for not committing to the fight against Galamsey, adding that it is the reason it has turned into a canker.
When the Frimpong Boateng report emerged, what did the president say? How did the government handle it? So there's clearly no commitment on the part of this government. And the blood, sweat, and tears of this country, as far as Galamsey is on his head, in the way we are acting with all of these things, are contaminants. In any case, one arrest of foreign nationals, GHOne is a classic example. What happened? How did the government handle it? But when an ordinary citizen made a tweet, I'm not justifying his right, and was charged on terrorism felony, he was even going to court on weekends. They marshaled all state resources against this one person. But when one issue emerged, even the senior minister at the presidency, who was the highest occupying ranking minister, how did he relate to the issue? What has become of the GHOne issue? It rather emboldens a lot of foreign nationals to engage in this very act. So when you say don't politicize it, that you are dragging Professor Mills in, dragging the NDC whilst in opposition, what are you talking about?
Let's still stay on the fight against Galamsey, as organized labor is set to decide on their planned nationwide strike against Galamsey amid internal divisions and government proposals. Now, the fight against illegal mining is expected to take a significant turn as organized labor meets to decide whether to continue with the intended nationwide strike or they should back down. After declaring the nationwide strike on Tuesday, October 1, following the inactivity of the government to heed to their demands within the particular grace period, this new meeting has become necessary following the leadership of organized labor's meeting with President Akufo-Addo on Thursday, October 4. And my colleague Calvin Powell is in this particular meeting and joins us. I pray we have a smooth connection because of connectivity challenges. But Calvin, if you can hear me, what's the latest? Have they decided anything yet? Have they met? What's happening there?
You can see behind me, members of are convening at the conference room. They are waiting the leadership of organized labor to actually come and address them in respect of the meeting that leadership had with the president concerning the union's intended nationwide demonstration come 10th October 2024. So currently the members are here in their numbers, are going through the necessary registration and awaiting leadership currently.
But I don't know if you'll be able to pick up bits of information from some of these members, whether or not the intended strike will continue or they will back down, as some have suggested.
Well, some of the members that I've had conversation with are still bent on the fact that unless government deals to the demand of the union, they will not accept any other alternative that the government will propose. Because looking at the devastation that Galamsey is causing to our environment, our water bodies, our farmlands, and even the health issues that are characterized with it, is not something that anyone should compromise with. So they are still bent on going ahead with their nationwide strike if government fails to heed to the call to actually pronounce immediate ban on Galamsey activities.
Okay, kindly continue monitoring. Let us know when leadership of organized labor updates you. It looks like it is a month of protests and strikes as employees of the National Identification Authority, the NIA, have laid down their tools today. The workers who are protesting over poor working conditions are going on an indefinite strike until all their demands are met. An official notice issued Sunday, October 6, 2024. The union expressed regret over having to go on strike, explaining they had made multiple attempts to resolve the issue peacefully, but without success. The statement emphasized that a scheme of service approved by the Public Services Commission in March 2024 is vital for the advancement and well-being of NIA staff. The union says that without the scheme, workers are left without the structure they need for fair progression in their careers. Let's now speak to Eduche Mekwabna, he's Divisional Secretary of the NIA Workers Union. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Let me use the opportunity to greet your service, viewers and listeners here.
Now, prior to this particular strike, what means did the union resort to resolve this impasse?
With all due respect, a number of correspondence has been shared with the management of NIA and the governing board of NIA. And this impasse started somewhere on the June of this year, 2024, where NIA embarked on strike, particularly Public Service Workers Union. Now, the first item was about allowances. But the second item now, where our members are staying home, has to do with the implementation and operationalization of the approved scheme of service of NIA. And that is where we are today. Because with all due respect, with respect to public service sector management administration and pursuant to the HI manual, the public services, for any recruitment in public services, there should be an approved scheme of service. And I can speak to you on authority, and you can challenge Professor Atefa and the governing board that as I speak, institutions such as NIA, we don't have an approved scheme of service. So it was item 2 on our intention to embark on strike in the month of June. So we sent a letter to the governing board somewhere on the 9th of September that if by 30th of September the document which has been approved by Public Service Commission is not approved, embossed, and still send to Fairworthy a new salary structure to be designed and migration process to be taken place, then we have no other options from our members to lay down our tools. My sister, with all due respect, what is the date for today? Today is 7th of October. Our governing board of NIA have failed to respond to our call. The content of the letter sent to the management of NIA, they have failed to respond. Then the council had a meeting on that was on Saturday, that based on the consent of our members and pursuant to the importance of this document we are talking about. We are talking about scheme of service. What is the importance of scheme of service? It shows the progression of employees within the organization. And on that same document, State Society Commission will design a new scheme of service. And thereafter, there will be a migration. So this strike action is based on the future of the employees of NIA and nothing else. Thank you.
All right, Kwabna, thank you very much for speaking to us. That's Kwabna Educheme with the NIA. Now, in some 60 days, Ghana heads to the polls to determine whether the country continues with the new patriotic party or there will be a reset as touted by the NDC. And this is your election hub. Akufo-Addo has told France 24 that opposition's call for a forensic audit of the voters' register has no substance. According to him, the NDC had the opportunity to present their demands in a televised Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting, IPAC, which resulted in the shelving of their demands.
It's not me. I'm not responsible.
The Electoral Commission.
I'm not responsible for the electoral process. That's the Electoral Commission. They had an opportunity the other day. The Electoral Commission chose to broadcast publicly its deliberations on these issues, and I think the whole country came to realize that in fact there was very little substance in the claims that the opposition was making, and they have now gone ahead to say that they will abide by the program that the Electoral Commission has laid out. I think that means implicitly that the demands that they were making have been shelved. And they have to be shelved because there's no substance to it.
While the president says the NDC's demands has no substance, what does the NDC think? Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT, and he joins me via Zoom for more. Rashid, the president says your demands have no substance. What is your response?
Let me say good afternoon to your cherished viewers. And let the general public and the whole world know that I strongly believe the president was watching his Tottenham football match or some movie he was watching. He was not following the IPAC meeting. Because if he was following the IPAC meeting, clearly he would have known that the NDC substance forced the Electoral Commission to abandon their own provisional register and now agree to come out with a revised provisional register, because they had to remove all the discrepancies that we identified in the previous register that they gave to us and the one they exhibited. 243,000 of such names were removed from the register. Where did they get it from? Who gave them the evidence before they start removing them? When they agreed that people's names were illegally being transferred from one constituency to another, who gave them those evidence? When they suspended and subsequently dismissed their district officer of Pusiga, what triggered it? Who gave them those evidence? When they were saying that, yes, they agreed that there were missing corrupted files, of their register, which we worked on and showed to them and indicated that, look, actually over 1,000 plus files given to us were all corrupted files. There were nothing on them. The Electoral Commission agreed on that fateful day at the IPAC meeting and even indicated that some of the names, they could not locate them, and because of that, they are putting up a register known as a missing voters register. Who gave them this? Was the president sleeping when the officers were admitting to all this? Why is the Electoral Commission going to do another exhibition? Have you seen that before? If we had no substance in 1 or 2, why are they going ahead to do a different exhibition and now again? Why are they giving us a revised voters register again? Professional one, of course. Why? Sometimes, you see, when they get opportunity like that, he's our president. And he should be mindful of some of his statements he says publicly when he goes outside there.
But Rashid, I shudder to think if you thought the president was going to say something otherwise. As the leader of the NPP, before he hands over power.
But he is the president. As we speak now, he is the president. And he should be truthful to himself. He wasn't speaking like the leader of the NPP. Baumia is their leader. If Baumia makes a statement, I have no problem with that. But this is our president. And he sits on national security. He is the chair of the National Security Council. And you know very well that the NDC evidence for the Electoral Commission to abandon their own register. And now come out with a new one. He knows it. It wasn't the Electoral Commission that just sat down and said no. Initially, when we came out with the discrepancies, we were not dismissing it. We don't saying that there was nothing like that. At the IPAC, did they even ask the NDC to make a presentation of our issues? No. At the IPAC, the rather was making presentation based on what we had sent to them. They didn't ask the NDC to come out, make a presentation to the whole world to see whether we have issues or not. But they rather made their presentation based on what we have been talking about, the one we met them on the 6th of September. So I don't know where the president is coming from, or he was not properly briefed. Because if he didn't watch it, then those who came and briefed him didn't brief him well.
But with the limited number of days we have to the national polls, do you think the EC will heed to your demands for a forensic audit?
Oh, as we speak now, you see, we came out with a statement shortly after the IPAC meeting.
Yes.
And our statement was very clear on the direction that we want to move. We said, well, we're looking at the register. Now you have admitted that, yes, it's true. There are problems with the register. So we are not going to use those old registers. We are going to do a revised one. We are taking out all the discrepancies you have identified. We have resolved them, and we are going to give you. So we agree to that. That principle and say, okay, fine. We will accept what you are saying. Albert, we want to take the register and study it again. Then secondly, they said they want to do exhibition. And they are going to do it offline. It is an online exhibition. And we are recommending to them that they should do offline as well. They are not listening to that. We will go ahead as a party and do our own offline exhibition for people to go and check their names. We will do it and make sure, because, and they told us that they are giving us the register with a template. When we see a problem, then we fill in the template and bring it back to them for them to do the correction. That means they are coming home. They are not listening and they are home. Another leg of our demand was on their IT system.
Yes.
We have profiled a solution to that. And so we need a multi-stakeholder and an inter-party examination of their IT system. That is what we are demanding from them. How could maybe the word forensic...
But Rashid, this is a provisional role, so they still have some number of days to put together the real voters register. Do you think that they will still heed to that demand of a multi-stakeholder audit of the IT system?
It is in their interest, the Electoral Commission, to allow this. It is in their interest. If they refuse and they don't want any multi-stakeholder or inter-party examination of their IT system, fair enough. So long as the register, they have agreed to, they have cleaned it and they have taken out, we saw the figures. We took time at IPAC, we were looking at the figures they came out. And we said, okay, if these are the figures we have changed now, we're going to use for the general election, fair enough. Let's have the body itself, of which they are saying they will give it to us within a week. Of course, this week, we're expecting to have it. If that one is done, don't forget, we'll have the election in 2 months' time. We are coming to power. And as soon as we come to power, the dreaded word they fear, the forensic audit, we will do it. Because we have to make sure that we have a very sanitized electoral system or IT system. We don't want to have an IT system which is so open and porous that anybody at all can just walk into it and start misbehaving with the register. That is not the kind of system we run under Afarjan and then Charlotte say.
All right, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much. Actually, Tanko Computer is a Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the largest opposition party, the NDC. This is your Election Hub. We are back shortly with more. Stay tuned in.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
Welcome back. This is Newsroom here on GHOne TV. My name is Lily Mohammed. Let's do some development-related stories. As residents of Odoko are calling authorities to fix signposts for street and property names, which are causing difficulties for travelers and more tourists to navigate the area. This comes after the government of Ghana implement the streets and property naming policy to address challenges in locating directions within Ghana.
According to residents of Odoko, the right street names were not considered during the naming process. They want the assembly to replace deteriorating signposts. A GHOne news team discovered that most signposts are fading, making it difficult to identify the inscriptions. The government, through local government and traditional rulers, agreed on suitable names for various streets in Ghana. But years later, residents still face challenges with street names. Meanwhile, Elsie Campion, Assistant Physical Planning Officer at the Ablekuma North Municipal Assembly, explained that the Assembly has taken note of the situation and is working to fix it.
Okay, thank you. The Assembly has also noted this concern, and as a result, we've undertaken data collection. And as I'm speaking to you, we are fine-tuning the data. And once we get the information, we would present it to management so that those that need replacing can be replaced, those that need remodeling or repairs, we can also do that. But the challenge the Assembly is facing is that there are some people who go about uprooting the street signages.
Assembly member for the Otatin electoral area, Kojo Kotoka, revealed that signposts are being stolen, suspected to be taken by scrap hunters.
This thing got mixing for some years now. Yeah, so I don't know what happened to the signposts. Yeah, that's what I know.
Samwa Alote, a resident of Otatin, explained that the popular name used for the directions of the area is Park. But the signpost bears Otatin.
To be precise, this place is Otatin, but when you look at the street post, it's Solo. We don't know any Solo. So when people are getting direction to this place, when you get to the station, any place around Odoko, you ask of Ali Park, that is where they show you. So I'm wondering why they chose Solo instead of Ali Park. Yeah.
Let's now head to the business world. In business, the Cocoa Carriers Association has announced that its members at Tema Takrade and Kumasi Depot of the Cocoa Marketing Company Limited will embark on an indefinite sit-down strike commencing today, October 7, 2024. This industrial action is in response to unresolved concerns regarding their conditions of service. In a bid to address these grievances, the association's leadership has directed its members to cease work indefinitely. The strike is aimed at pressing for improved working conditions, including enhanced wages and benefits. Notably, the association also undertook a similar strike in 2022, where members demanded wage increases and better working conditions. Now, the annual Global Customer Service Week begins today, October 7, running through till October 13. This worldwide celebration recognizes and improves customer service in the hospitality sector. During this week, various organizations will review, celebrate, and address the strengths, weaknesses, and challenges in the industry. Ghana, renowned globally for its hospitality, still faces significant gaps in customer service. We spoke to members of the public gathering diverse opinion. Some acknowledged improvement, while others argued that customer service remains subpar. However, there was consensus on the need for enhancement. The public offered suggestions for improvement, emphasizing the potential growth for the industry.
To the hospital. Negative, especially when it comes to the hospital. In particular, I'm sorry if I'm how do I put it, putting someone into a disadvantage, but the nurses, yeah, in a way, how they like. Sometimes, recently, my mother came to a hospital, and then she said when it was her turn to like go for the doctors like their treatment, the nurses asked some other people to like go, and then she was still sitting there. Meanwhile, she wasn't feeling fine. Yeah, so I think that thing that they've been like allowing people they know to like go before others, I think it's really bad. So
If anybody order a car, the person will have your details, your name, your car number, your telephone number. And because we are working with a company who provide a service, our service to our passengers is different from the taxis. Although the passenger will do a lot of things that will make you annoying, but because somebody is giving you service, you can't react like taxi driver who will be roaming in the city. You'll be picking the car, you don't know the driver's number, the driver's car number, you not even watch it. So our relationship to our customers, like the passengers, is very, very let's say it's open.
Customer service, I say it me improve the way I receive customers. Initially, we call bank now. I thought it be a hard drink because Ubu have a call bank, as I say, you lie, but Ubi have a back window. Now, to orbit my general, so I thought it be a hard drink.
Customer service experience in Ghana, in terms of the public institutions, that's really been very poor. It's not really been consistent, I can say, because you go to one institution, especially probably the passport office, to make a complaint, and you have to know someone there for your complaint to be taken seriously.
That's it for the Business Brief.
For joining me here on Sports Brief. My name is Monica Bukari. The Black Stars will start training today, October 7th, for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sudan. The 25 players invited for the doubleheader this month have started arriving with France-based duo Mohammed Salisu and Elisha Owusu, the first to report to come, followed by England-based Jordan Ayew, Antoine Semenyo, Fatawi Shahaku Kudus, amongst others. The team will later today hold their first training session at the Accra Sports Sports Stadium, which will be open to the media. Coach Otto Addo will lead the team through the sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday before the game on Thursday, October 10, 2024. Now to GPL and Ghana Premier League with 5 ended with stunning display of sportsmanship across the various league centers. Kumasi Asante Kotoko moved to the Premier League table with a 1-0 win over Accra Lions on Sunday. Kumasi Asante Kotoko's Albert Anua scored in the 48th minute to send the Porcupine Warriors to the top of the league table with 11 points, whereas Nswatraman FC thumped Legon Cities 3-1. The result leaves Legon Cities winless since the start of the season. Brekum Chelsea recorded a narrow 1-0 win over Young Apostles FC, and Vision FC also recorded their first home win of the season after a 1-0 win over Basake Holy Stars at the other venues. Hamadi Mohammed saved the blushes for Karela United with a last gasp equalizer in their 1-1 at home to Samatex FC. Now to the English Premier League, and Brighton produced a stunning second-half comeback as they scored 3 goals in 18 minutes to come from 2-0 down to beat Tottenham 3-2 at the Amex Stadium. Spurs were in total control at halftime thanks to goals from Brennan Johnson and James Maddison. The comeback was then complete in the 66th minute as poor Spurs defending allowed Danny Welbeck to head home. Speaking after the game, Brighton manager Fabian Hesler says his message at halftime was to play with more intensity and energy.
Thing that we concede these 2 goals is more like about making the last step, playing with intent, fulfill the match plan with energy, and that was the main topic, and we tried to get this back in the halftime, but again, it's the job from the players. They played an amazing second half. They showed a great reaction, and I think they deserve to win.
Yeah.
Let's now head to the entertainment front. Now, Accra Brewery PLC unveiled its newest product, Brutal Fruit Spritzer, at a vibrant launch over the weekend. This refreshing drink combines sweet and zesty citrus and apple flavors with hints of spice, grapefruit peel, and honey, tailored for women's enjoyment and empowerment. There's one of the following report.
The Brutal Fruit Spritzer stands out with its unique flavor, blend, and empowering message, celebrating sisterhood and femininity. The launch of the new product brought together women from various sectors, featuring performances from Kaisa, Harmony Band, and Kiddy. Vanessa Kavi, marketing manager at Accra Brewery, shared insights into the product's authenticity and relevance to women.
We are in a world where women need to be celebrated, you know, and we're also like in October month, really. I think we just need little moments to just have time with our ladies, because that's what revives our energy, right? And so we don't always have to have other moments, you know, with say like other people all the time, but like when you're with your besties, that's like a good time to just like relax and unwind. So that's the reason why we're really targeting women, just to be able to give them a time and a break, really.
Patrons shared their views, praising the drink's refreshing taste.
The drink, for the first time I tried it was so divine, like so amazing.
I like the fact that they actually took women into consideration to make a drink like this that is mild, and I mean even the color just speaks woman. The event is beautiful. I came in and I was like, wow, like it's a very pretty place. The atmosphere is very lovely, very feminine, basically.
In a world where female camaraderie is vital, Brutal Fruits Spritzer encourages women to come together, enjoy life's moments, and uplift one another. It fosters connections and strengthens bonds, celebrating femininity and the joys of togetherness.
Let's now head to the foreign front. Somber day of commemoration has begun in Israel to October 7 Hamas attacks. As dawn broke, hundreds of people gathered at the site of the Nova Festival to honor those killed there that day. Hours later, a memorial was held at the kibbutz Niroz, where 1 in 4 residents were killed or abducted by Hamas. Israel's ensuing war in Gaza has killed more than 41,000 people and triggered a humanitarian crisis, catalyzing a widening regional conflict. The Israeli military launched a new offensive in northern Gaza this weekend and struck multiple locations in the enclave overnight, including a hospital compound. That's it for the news. For more news updates, kindly log on to starfm.com.gh. My name is Lily Mohammed. Good afternoon.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew. ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked. and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.